What's going on, everyone? So LeBron's got a interesting predicament on his hands. Like, what does he do? Does he stay with the Lakers? Does he retire? Does he go to a different organization, right? Like, I mean, team like the Philadelphia 76ers could just sign LeBron James outright if they wanted to. Um, Personally, I do not see a scenario in which LeBron James leaves. I don't think that happens. LeBron's here for more than just basketball reasons. Right? He's got his kids. Um, you know, Bryce, he's still going to school. Why not? Like LeBron's here, business, family, everything else. Right? If he wanted to go and contend for championships, he probably could have went to several other places and potentially won several others. He's here for a multitude of reasons. Obviously, I'm sure he still wants to win. I'm sure he still wants to, go out there and compete at a high level. But I just don't think it's solely for basketball at this point in his career. But LeBron James has, even with him sticking around with the Lakers, has a couple options, right? So there's reports that he is probably going to sign a 3-year. He wants kind of the long-term deal, which the Lakers would give him, which would put him into being 42 years old, which is crazy to think about. But I mean, if he can still play at the level in which he's played, fantastic, right? Like, hey, bring it on. Right? I mean, he's still playing like he's a top 10 player in the league. But at 3 years, 164 million to where he's making like 54 million a year or whatever it is, like that is where the concern lies. That's where I'm kind of like, because the problem is like you lock LeBron into that long-term money. We saw LeBron get gassed, right? And it's like, if you're the Lakers, can you count on LeBron James to properly pull it together to lead you to an NBA championship? I mean, Anthony Davis was the best we had seen him in years, and it wasn't enough. And LeBron James at moments, and LeBron again is spectacular, right? I think LeBron at this stage, because he wants another star, right? But it's just like, okay, Anthony Davis is going to be on a max. He's making whatever, 43 million a year or whatever it is. You're going to make 54 million. And then what? You're going to go try to trade for, like, say, a Trae Young who's making, 45 million? Like, there's all your money. Now, look, I'm not saying that you can't make it work. I absolutely do. I think, Trae Young and Anthony Davis together are good enough to where I think you'd be one of the top teams. You add in LeBron James as like your quote unquote third option, right? Like he's the guy that puts you over the hump. And the reason LeBron wants that third guy is so that way he can kind of coast throughout the course of the regular season, right? Like look at what happened, at the beginning of the year. What was the conversation? Oh, we're going to try to keep LeBron around 30 to, 25 to 30 minutes. How long did that last? Like the first 25 to 30 minutes. And then that was it. He went over that, right? And it was just like playing 35 to 40 minutes a game, right? It's just, but if you got a guy like a Trae Young, right? So now you have Trae and Anthony Davis. Okay, I get it because it's like, okay, those two guys, they can kind of be the workhorses during the regular season, get into the playoffs. They can kind of be the workhorses in the playoffs. And then throughout the regular season and the playoffs, I can kind of coast. I can kind of play the game the way that I want to play it, kind of pick and choose my spots. Okay, Trae went to the bench. Let me take over here down the stretch, or let me go get quick 8 straight points, right? We saw it even this year, right? Like, LeBron's trying to get everyone else going. He's just kind of coasting, he's kind of trucking along, getting you, a 6-point burst here, 6-point burst here. I mean, how many times this year at halftime did LeBron have like 4 points or something like that? And then you look up and you're like, LeBron finished with 30? And it's like, oh yeah, well, he had like 14 in the fourth and 12 in the third. It's like, oh wow, okay. Right? Like he just kind of pick and chose his spots in which he was going to take over, right? Which I understand. I mean, again, 39 years old in year 21. But to me, it's like this dilemma. It's like, okay, well, I don't mind the star depending on who the star is. But depending on who that star is also depends on the cap situation, right? Like, so for example, if the Lakers go and trade for Trey, then it doesn't matter. Like, LeBron might as well just take the max because it doesn't matter, right? You're going to be over the cap regardless. Right? Even if LeBron makes $10 million, like let's say LeBron's like, don't pay me 54, I'll take a $40 million discount. You're still going to be over the cap at that point, right? Like, it's just because you have $90 million equated to two guys. And then LeBron comes in at like, let's say 15 million, right? Like there's, you're over 100 million already with just three guys, right? So like, that's the problem, right? But like right now, more likely than not, the Lakers are going to have their taxpayer mid-level and a bunch of vet minimums, right? Like, so the idea that the Lakers are going to sign a bunch of marquee free agents is not great. Now, it is the Lakers. The Lakers may end up getting like that kind of reclamation, like a Kevin Porter Jr. is a guy that comes to mind. Like, he's a 19-point-a-game scorer that, he definitely deserves the position he's in. But like, does he go and go, okay, like, I want to get back in the league. Let me kind of go take a prove it deal with the Lakers, right? And the Lakers kind of sign him to a prove it deal, right? Like, it's one of those things. Like, how does that shape up, right? And can you maybe convince like a Valanciunas to take a discount to come to Lakers, right? Maybe you get a guy or two to kind of do that, right? You get the reclamation project, you get the guy that kind of come in, the veteran guy that comes in on a discount to maybe play a big role and contend for an NBA championship, right? Like, again, if you go get a guy like Trey, then fine. LeBron sign the max contract, right? Because his max would basically go through with Anthony Davis and Trey's, and and then he leaves, and then now you're kind of just building around a Trey and Anthony Davis. But to me, it's like the other alternative would be like, D'Lo opts out. You take like, I don't know the exact number off my head, but like say 30 million, and now maybe you could go sign a DeMar DeRozan for like 18 million, something like that, right? And it's like, now you go get, what if you could go get a DeMar DeRozan, or you go work out a sign and trade? Because again, if you work out a sign and trade, you get hard capped, right? But like, what if you could work out a sign and trade and go get DeMar DeRozan and like Alex Caruso, and then maybe sign an Andre Drummond, or maybe even, again, maybe you still have your taxpayer mid-level, and maybe you could convince Valanciunas, right? Imagine a starting five of like Alex Caruso, DeMar DeRozan, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Valanciunas. All right, like, good luck. Good luck to the rest of the league. Let's go win this chip, right? Like, health would be the only thing standing in our way, knock on wood, right? Like, so it kind of depends. Like, so LeBron is out here saying like, I want a third star, I want a third star, I want a third star. Okay, fine, but you're going to have to make the adjustments. You're going to have to make the changes, right? Like, and the Lakers are going to have to kind of figure out and kind of navigate like, okay, how do we want to approach this? How do we want to go about this? Like, how should we, do you give LeBron that max? Does LeBron sign another 1+1? Right? Like, if LeBron, like, I definitely think LeBron probably signs a 3-year deal, just because like that'll probably be he'll probably sign that deal and then he's done, right? He'll retire, or maybe goes plays with his kid for a year, or retires a cat, like does that thing where you'll see players go sign with their team that drafted them and then retire, right? Like, I could see something like that, but more likely than not, this could end up, like, I think that this may very well be his last contract. So I think LeBron's just got to figure out the years. Does he have it in the tank to play another 3 years? Or does he have it in the tank to go, all right, like, now let's ride this out? Or does he just go, like, hey, let me take a 1+1. And then the Lakers, from the Lakers standpoint, they need to figure out, like, okay, well, is LeBron and Anthony Davis enough to win a chip now? Right? I still think that they are, personally. I mean, again, like, I don't think you rebuild. I don't think you trade LeBron. I don't think it's anything like that. I mean, you don't go from like being a team that's close and maybe a piece away from winning a chip to like, hey, tear it all down. No, you go try to find that piece, whatever that piece turns out being. Right? Like, even if the Lakers ran it back and just like got a Valanciunas and like a Royce O'Neal or something, right? Like, perfect. Like, I don't necessarily think that they absolutely have to go get a third star, right? And if you do that, my concern is just like as the contract progresses, right? Because you're basically limited. And if it doesn't work out, now you're just kind of grasping at straws every year. And, like LeBron and Anthony Davis, knock on wood, were incredibly healthy this season. Like how much can you count on that? Especially with LeBron getting the year, now he'd be year 22, age 40, and then year 23, age 41, and then 42. And it's like, and look, even if, as long as he plays, 60 to 65 games or whatever, cool, right? Which I think he'll always aim for, because that's how he'll be able to get the accolades, the all NBA teams and whatnot. But it's just, it's an interesting dilemma. It's definitely something that they're going to have to try to work through and figure out. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But like, I don't think LeBron's going anywhere. I don't see LeBron necessarily leaving. I think he signs that big contract. Lakers go trade for Trae Young, and that's probably our offseason for the most part. Like, genuinely. Like, I kind of lean towards that's probably how this is going to go. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What do you think LeBron should do? What do you think the Lakers should do? However it is, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot, so we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.